Welcome to the odds.com breakdown of UFC 250 this Saturday night, June 6th at the Apex in Las Vegas. We brought together our best MMA analysts to break down the angles, find ways to get you paid. We've already talked about the early preliminary card. Now we get into the preliminary card, and we've got Big Mo from Mo Scream TV, Boston Nick, a.k.a. Mr. Fat Fist, and our man Clint, star of the Die Hard MMA Podcast. Let's get right after it right now. We get started with a middleweight bout. 5'10" American Charles Kid Dynamite Byrd, 10-6-0, opens at -138 at Bet365, has now moved up to -170. If you want him right now, they're at Bet365. Going up against 5'10" American Maki Coconut Bombs Pitolo, 12-5-0, opening at +110, now at +140. Let's go with Boston Nick to get this popping off. Money coming in on Charles Kid Dynamite Byrd. Do you agree?
Do I agree with it? Absolutely. Charles Byrd should dispatch Mr. Pitolo pretty easily. Listen, Kalen Potter beat him unanimously. When I say unanimously, he beat him with ease. And Kalen Potter, let's face it, he's a journeyman at this point. He's coming off, Bird's coming off back-to-back losses, Edmund Shabazian and the dentist, who's no slouch. That being said, though, I believe at -170 right now, that's an easy parlay piece. I am going to throw him in a parlay. I love him here. And I might even look for an inside the distance prop or by TKO once they do come out. But I'm all over Byrd here like white on rice.
Byrd as a favorite here to get the preliminary card rolling. Let's go to Big Mo. Do you agree with the market move and with Boston Nick liking Charles Byrd here?
I do, Bag. Here's a couple reasons why. If you watch tape, just like my man Nicky, I'll normally say 4 ounce, but tonight we're going to keep it positive. Nicky, 24 ounce is what we're going to say tonight.
We got
24 ounce there in the bottom right. Hey, don't get used to it, bro.
I'm not 18.
You'll go back to Nicky 4 ounce soon. But tonight you're Nicky 24 ounce. But back to what I was saying, Mr. Potter, like the way he fights, he walks forward, throws big bombs, looks to clinch, looks to press against the cage. If you watch all that, he's pretty much a generic version of Byrd. Bird's a lot better at what Potter does. He's a way better striker. He hits harder. He's a better wrestler. He's a better submission fighter. He's better everywhere than Potter. And just like 24 over there said, he wrecked Coconut Bombs. Coconut Bombs, he wants the fight to stand right in front of you and throw like 40% shots. Just like a Diaz, he'll throw 2 hard or like 2 soft ones and, pop a third one hard. He's decent at finding the back, getting rear naked chokes. But besides that, I think his only path to victory, and both these guys have this issue. They both seem to gas towards the third. That's what happened with Mr. Stewart, Mr. the Dentist, with Charles Byrd, because Charles Byrd was winning that fight until all of a sudden he wasn't. He was outstriking the striker. He was making him work, making him clinch. And the thing that just sealed it for me was how Potter was hitting him so easy. And then I watched tape. And the reason why is because when Coconut Bombs walks backwards, he has his hands dropped at all times. Because just like he's against the cage, he's not trying to fight for underhooks. He's always on the offensive, trying to dirty box, always thinking offensive instead of thinking defensive first, like I don't need to get cracked, and then going offense. He's always offense, and somebody like this, Bird's going to walk forward, throw a double jab cross. He's either going to get hit or he's going to back up against the cage. Bird's going to clinch him against the cage. He's going to work him, chain grappling, find his way to the ground, probably TKO him, something like that in the second round. I can see Coconut Bombs. It's starting to wear on Coconut Bombs, 2:30 into the second round, maybe a minute left, something like that. Byrd seals the deal with the, TKO.
So an under might be another move you would make on this fight?
Yeah, yes, sir. Like how Coconut Bombs, because he just throws to the wind. He throws a lot of volume. So in return, what you got to look out for is if Byrd, like let's say Byrd comes out first round, super grappling heavy, but can't close the deal, right? Can't close the deal, is up 2 rounds going into the third. he's got to watch out for that volume if he gets tired, because that's what Coconuts wants to do, is he wants to work that volume. So, but
I just said over under at 1.5. So,
yeah. I mean, like, well, yeah. I mean, I get you that happen. Yeah, I mean, it's close. You know what I'm saying? It's like as far as picking it, but picking when and where it happens. But I think as far as just picking a straight up winner, I think Charles Byrd wins this fight.
We got Big Mo and Boston Nick both on Kid Dynamite. Charles Byrd, do you agree, Clint?
Let's go for the 3, Pete. Jimmy, I'm on Charles Byrd. You know that 4-leg parlay that I got rolling?
Let's
Byrd
go.
is in it, buddy.
hey,
I just think he flat gets it done. I don't have a whole lot to add to what my boys said, except for this. Not many people seem to realize or mention that Byrd is a 185er, Jimmy. Maki Pitolo fights at 170 pounds and is taking this fight up 15 pounds. He struggles with the wrestling. He had issues with a guy, and don't get me wrong, maybe one of you guys can remind me. Didn't his last opponent come up from 155 to 170?
Who's that? Byrd or Pitolo?
Pitolo. Didn't Potter come up from 155 to 70 in that fight?
Yep.
Because if he fought a guy that was fighting at 155 and jumped up to 70 and struggled with the wrestling, now he's fighting up 15 more himself without the body for it against a true, thick, powerful 185er. He's going to end up on his ass, Jimmy. I like Byrd a lot here.
Makes a lot of sense. That starts off the preliminary card. We've already talked the early preliminaries. Now we're on the preliminary card. Let's move on to a featherweight bout. 5'6" American Cody Spartan Stamann. 18-2-1. Opening up at -275 at Bet365. Still there as we speak. 5'6" American Brian Boom Kelleher coming at him. 21-10-0. Plus 225 dog. Let's go with Big Mo. What do you think of Brian Boom Kelleher as a dog here?
Well, boys, when a man accepts defeat, he needs to accept defeat. And I am horrible at calling Kelleher fights. I just am, because I don't never see it going into any matchup. Even doing tape on this, my man, he likes to strike from the outside. He switches stances, good leg kicks, good calf kicks, good head kicks, keep it crazy, keeps it wild, really good guillotine. But normally he seems like he's outmatched, or he's not quite as good in areas that you need to be good that the opponent is better at. So I'm horrible at calling Kelleher fights. Hopefully one of my guys over here, they might be able to talk me the other way. But right now I think the pick has to be Stamann. I think he's good. I think he has faster hands. I think he has good fight IQ, very good wrestling, fought really good competition. Didn't he lose to Aljo? Is that the only loss?
Yep.
Yeah, Aljo. Yep. You know, Aljo is pretty much in the hunt for the 135-pound title right now. I think he's good at winning rounds. He's not going to go out and finish nobody, which he can. I say he's not going to go out and finish anybody. But really what I see from him is he likes to win the rounds. He likes to do what he has to do to win the rounds. He knows that, good fight IQ. So in this fight, I think if you want to get spicy and get crazy, I mean, Kelleher, he won out, a month ago, something like that, month and a half, whenever it was, everybody counted him out. He came out and beat Hunter Azur. So he can cash. I think though, personally, that that Stamann's going to win a decision. I think he's going to win it probably 30-27, get a couple takedowns each round, top control, top pressure. But if you want to get spicy, I wouldn't be mad at you if you threw a little dabble on Kelleher inside the distance. I do not see him winning the decision. I think if he wins, he gets him in some kind of sneaky submission or catches him with some kind of head kick, something like that. But my pick is Stamann by decision.
Stamann by decision from our Big Mo. What do you think, Clint? Is this a dog you might be worth putting a sawbuck on?
Jimmy, this card is really, really chalky. There's a lot of big favorites. Most of them -200 or larger. And the problem is, I love to bet my dogs, but I agree with most of these lines. Not here, baby. I'm rolling with the boom.
Ooh, tell me why.
Gotta do to earn your respect. He cashed as a plus 145 dog against Ode Osborne. He blew my night out of the water and cashed as a plus 175 dog against Hunter Azure. Now he is a plus 225 dog. What's he gotta do to earn the
Young
respect?
Clint? Just something that you say often. These past couple weeks, I've gotten to know you. I've gotten to learn your personality. And a couple times you have pointed out to me competition. Who the fuck is O'Day? And who's that guy? Hunter who?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're talking Cody Stamann, bro. We're talking Aljo had to catch some kind of exotic. Like, I know you don't watch Joe Exotic. I know you done seen that. He caught that.
I know all about it.
Yeah, he caught that exotic submission, and that's the only way he got Stamann out. So, so I'm just remember what you say, bro. Competition matters.
Competition absolutely matters, but you know what else matters in these spots, Mo? The line, baby, the line.
Ooh.
If you were talking to me about a minus 150 favorite and a plus 110 dog, no way am I betting Kelleher here. I'm flipping a coin at plus 225, baby. You're telling me he's got less than a 30% chance of winning this fight? I beg to differ. Boy's got a squeeze. He can choke anybody out, and Stamann is diving in for a takedown. That neck is going to be there. He's got the bombs, man. He's been knocking everybody senseless left and right, and he has got one hell of a gas tank. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage, and Cody tires out. The man slows down in the third round. I know it's going to be close. I know it's going to be hairy, but Cody Stamann can only win this fight by decision. Boom can submit him, he can clip him, or God willing, he can put on a round 2 and 3 performance when his opponent slows down, just like he did against Hunter Azure, and he can steal a squeaky split decision.
Woo! Nick, can you break this deadlock?
Let me tell you something. I agree with both guys. The line is 1,000%, not 100%, but 1,000% incorrect. Like you said, plus 150, worst case scenario, plus 170, worst case scenario, literally worst case scenario. Competition-wise, yes. I mean, you got Alejandro Perez, I believe it was, Brian Caraway, and then Tom Duquesnoy, and then Terrian Ware, But that's Yadong Song Jaw. That's what really sold it for Cody Stamann for me. I'm not betting it yet. I have to wait to the weigh-ins to see these guys up against each other. This is one of these fights where
tune in Friday.
Friday night.
Clintus right there. Oh, Clintus, he might be there as well. So he's gonna get us all. And hey, it's Friday too. I think I'm gonna let my hair down.
But I have something real quick to touch on. This is a smaller cage. You know what I mean? So what does this benefit? Which guy?
So, Nick, what we got to remember about the smaller cage here, though, is we're betting on wrestling midgets here. These are 135ers.
Hey.
I hear you. They got a few less inches on other people. I understand.
These aren't light heavyweights that are going to get pressed up against the cage. These boys got room to move.
They're called as well, but let's not take shots at short
people. You can't parlay Cody Stamann because Brian Kelleher, like he did with Hunters or Shatner apple pie that night. I ain't going to let him do it again, but I want to see these weigh-ins to see what kind of prop bets I can look at. Over, under 1.5.
Am I on the wrong side of this?
I don't have a lean either way.
Real stupid when y'all wrong about this.
I haven't taken a side. I just don't like the line. The line is incorrect. When a line is incorrect, you have to take advantage of that line.
Hey, mark my word, guys. Saturday when we're live watching the fights, 24 ounce over there, which he will be referred as 4 ounce then. He will change his bet to the correct play, which is Stamann.
Well, that
maybe
the second fight on our prelim card, the fifth fight overall, because we had the early preliminary card. Of the 5 fights, this is our second dog, third if you count Juicier Formiga, which you can't because you can. He's at plus 125. But for big dogs, Big Mo got the day started off by backing Evan Dunham. You can get him at plus 200. There's also ways.
You better not hate on me.
at plus 375, like Big Mo did. Big Mo, how did you get done by plus 3? Was that inside the distance?
It was by decision.
Okay, by decision. So there was a plus 375, and now we have another one from Clint. Boom, Kelleher, plus 225. And second,
Here comes the
big
boom,
dog.
baby.
He's gonna boom and shit in y'all's apple pie.
Hard. Nick,
I have not done
fresh
anything
off,
yet on that fight, but yes.
fresh off this featherweight bout. Let's move on to a middleweight bout. 5'11" American Ian the Hurricane Heinisch, 13-3-0. Opening at minus 138 at Bet365. Money coming on his opponent. Heinisch is now at minus 125. He's going up against 6'1" American Gerald GM3 Meerschaert, 30-12-0. Opening at plus 110, now plus 100. Nick, money coming in on Meerschaert. What do you think of this spot? Is this a spot that you agree with the market move?
This is a tough one. I mean,
It is
Ian
tough.
Heinisch has been a decision 4 times in his last 4 fights. I think that's his stint in the UFC. Meerschaert has looked really good as of late. He really has. And Ian Heinisch has looked the opposite. You know what I mean? Won his first 2, lost his last 2. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Ian lost his fight. He'd be getting his walking papers. This is a tough one right now. What's the line at right now, Jimmy? I apologize.
No worries. Open up minus 138, now down to minus 125 for Heinisch. Next step is a pick'em.
I think that if I bet Meerschaert, no, because all of Ian's fights go the distance. I mean, Meerschaert by submission, but at the same time, this is something another fight I have to watch the weigh-ins. Watching these weigh-ins when these guys are done cutting weight to see if they cut weight correctly.
Hey Nick, when are we gonna do that?
Huh?
When are we gonna do that?
We can do that Friday night. That
Boom.
being said, though, my lean here is to Gerald Meerschaert, believe it or not. His reach advantage, I believe, is substantial, if I'm not correct, or by at least a couple inches. I'm gonna lean Meerschaert here. There's no bet yet. I want to watch the weigh-ins, and I want to look for the props when they pop up.
Clint, Meerschaert, money coming in on him. Do you agree?
Jimmy, I am struggling with this fight so hard, man. This line is going to do this all the way until fight time. I think this thing is a pick'em. I think it's going to close pick'em. I think if you're betting this fight, you are flipping a coin. You're a gambling machine. There is no way to feel comfortable on this spot. I was a true believer of Ian Heinisch. I've bet him every single fight so far in the UFC, and I've gone 2-2 just like he has. So once you've watched Ian Heinisch fight one time, you've seen him fight every time. Yep. The man is not improved. He's not changed. He's not evolved. But that said, he's got the physical prowess and the skill set he needs to be near the top middle of the division. GM3 is the question mark for me. He is 2019's most improved fighter. GM3's come leaps and bounds from just being the submission threat that he used to be. However, we got to look at what my boy Mo talked about. We got to talk about that level of competition. He fought the biggest bed shitter in the UFC today in Trevin Giles and locked up a 3rd-round submission after getting his ass beat for 12 minutes. He then loses to Eric "Yo Boy" Anders. And I think that Ian Heinisch is essentially a better version of Eric Anders.
Then you go back and watch that. That
Convince me, Clint.
Then he gets a win over Deron Wynn, which he absolutely should never have been an underdog in. We made some sweet, easy money.
Don't crack no short jokes either on that
Wynn
one.
is too damn short, Mo. He's too little.
I knew it was coming, Clint.
He should be fighting 145.
He should be fighting a lower weight class. I'm sorry. That's the simple fact of the matter. He's too small for these big boys at 185. Ian is a big boy at 185. The big question mark for me, Jimmy, is that Meerschaert is going to have a 5-inch reach advantage. And that's the one thing I can't get around. I think that Ian is going to be able to bully him up against the fence. I think that Ian is going to be the better striker. But GM3's got good head movement, and he's got 5 extra inches to work with. This thing is going to be close, tight, and hairy. I think it goes to the judges' scorecards. So if you're going to pick your side, I would suggest you take it by decision because, honestly, I think these guys are both defensively sound enough. I don't think anybody's going to sleep.
Clint, what do you think about plus 110 fight goes to decision?
That's not a bad way to take it. Then you don't even have to worry about sweating out a side.
Yep. Okay.
So at this point, Clint, you're off this fight.
I'm completely off this one, Jimmy. I have sworn off of betting Ian Heinisch. I put him in the trash bin until I see something different from him. He moved out to Thailand. He was supposed to be training at Tiger Muay Thai, but with all the COVID stuff, he had to come home. Those plans got canceled. That's a gym that I love. That's exactly the kind of improvement that I think I would need to see to bet on him again. But he didn't get his camp out there because of the world state right now. So I can't pull that trigger. I can't do it.
All right, Big Mo, what do you think of this spot? Heinisch, Meerschaert.
So first initial thought, I was on Ian until you go watch tape, just like my man Clintus over there said. Once you've seen one Ian Heinisch fight, you done seen them all. He used a lot of footwork, a lot of head movement. He likes to come in, throws a couple hooks, big bombs. He gets taken down. He gets up, really good get-ups. But he does seem to get taken down. Old Carlos Jr. was taking him down, boom, 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 left and right in the beginning until he got tired. It seems like, good power, good grit. I don't know if you know the background on him, but my man went to prison. He was in Alcatraz, I believe, for, was it a bank robbery or something like that? Or it was something serious where my man went to Alcatraz. And so, I mean, he's a grit, grimy kind of guy. He's not the kind of guy that's going to tap early, you're just going to smoke. But with that being said, just like Clint said as well, GM3's improved a lot, and that's very rare for somebody his age bracket. He's got somewhat of a salty record, but he seems to be improving a lot where he needs to improve, and that's his striking. He trains with Duke Rufus. Rufus is his kickboxing coach. His hands are getting a lot better. He uses a lot of straight punches. Just like I talked about earlier before, Heinisch throws a lot of bombs, where GM3 throws a lot of straight punches. I trust straight punches that get from point A to point B a lot faster than big wild overhands. Then you add the whole Ian Heinisch getting taken down quite a bit, and GM3 is good at getting the clinch. Like, he'll throw some to get a body lock, to back you up against the cage, to drop down to a single, to drop down to a double. Even if he doesn't get it, he's still making Ian Heinisch work. Ian Heinisch tends to gas out in the second round, third round, as long as he's getting grappled, having to get up, get down. I think he's going to be on the defense in this, to where GM3 is going to be just steady going 40, 50% in his face, making him always be on the defense, whether it's grappling, striking. I'm just not very impressed with Ian Heinisch. I'm just going to be honest with you.
I want to make a point. We had a lot of finishes last week with the smaller cage. So, I mean, we had 4 finishes in a row.
Yeah, it was a hot start.
So
one of these guys could start hard, but it's start hot. Ooh, that was a tongue twister. But I kind of think that Ian Heinisch is just going to get grappled here, and he's going to be steady getting up off the ground, get tired. I like GM3. He's been improving a lot. And I don't care what anybody says. Deron Wynn, he's a little bit below average height, but my man has really good grappling. He wrestles with Daniel Cormier. I'm talking about, I can't stand Darren Wynn. I will never bet on him ever again. But that's not the point. We're not talking about Deron Wynn. We're talking about GM3. How I could see a finish here, because something I watched with Ian Heinisch, when he gets rocked, he drops down to a single or double or whatever. But that's what a lot of people do, is they go to what they know when they get rocked. And let's say he cracks them with one of them straights. Ian Heinisch is against the cage, drops down for a sloppy single. Well, you know what GM3 is very, very good at, and that is the guillotine. He will snatch that guillotine. He'll snatch a darce up real quick. I could see that path, but I'm gonna go with Ian Heinisch being tough, being a little bit too durable. I don't think GM3 is going to be able to finish him. I think he wins 2 of the rounds by grappling, whether it's holding him against the cage, takes downs, whatever, 29-28, GM3 decision.
Oof. That is a tough one. That's the tightest one we've had thus far. So, Big Mo, you are going to get to the window with this Heinisch Meerschaert?
Yeah, no, I'm not that confident yet. That's more of a let's watch some weigh-ins. Let's see if they're mouthing. Let's see how they look on the scales. Let's see if something comes out throughout the week that maybe we don't know. And then you go, then you might maybe go to do something. But this is a 50-50 fight. This is just me trying to watch tape, trying in my mind to envision the path that it could go. And it's hard for me to see a path. I mean, Ian Heinisch can win, but just like this is no disrespect to Clint, because I'm going to say about myself. If Clint sees that Ian Heinisch does the same thing every time, and I see that he does the same thing every time, you know who else sees that he does the same thing every time? Is his coaches. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to be able to game plan. I'm trusting that he's going to be able to stick to the game plan. GM3 seems like a fairly smart guy. Like if you listen to what they're saying, you know, like whenever Duke Rufus says jab or whatever it is, like, you know, he goes. So
he fights the decision every time, whether he wins or loses.
Yeah, I mean, like he does what it takes to win the round, and he's tough, durable dude. He does get rocked a lot of the fights. He gets rocked, but he's tough. He doesn't give up. Because, you know, when you get rocked, you go to your back. And that's where he wants to be, is his back. So I'm just trusting that he's going to find a way to victory.
I like it. Let's move on to the main event on the preliminary card. Featherweight bout, 5'10" American Alex Bruce Leroy Caceres. 15-12-0. Opens up as a plus 110 dog at Bet365. Quickly becomes a plus 130 dog. Going up against 6'1" American Chase the Dream Hooper. The Dream opens up at minus 138. Now is at minus 160. Boston Nick, are you on the Dream here?
Grappler versus striker. Point blank. End of story. Listen. Hooper will be diving in for leg locks, so pulling guard nonstop. He's probably going to get caught a few times. The one thing Alex Caceres is not known for is his punching power. It's volume striking. That's why I'm not worried about Hooper losing this fight. I like Hooper a lot here. Right now, I think you can get him at, what is it, Jimmy?
It's at minus 160. Money coming in on Hooper.
Okay. I think if that's the case, I'm going to put my bet on in Hooper. I think inside the distance, I might take him, depending on what I can get it at. But it's a teenage dream for me all day long. I mean, I wish I was as good looking as him in high school. But that being said, I'm on Chase Hooper. I don't see Alex beating him unless he can just it's a smaller cage too. Chase Hooper's going to be able to get him to the fence, take him down one way or another. Once he gets him down, Caceres is in big, deep trouble, and that's the truth.
What do you think of that? Big Mo, what do you think of the Dream here?
Well, let me tell you about this, Jimmy. What the Dream is a nightmare dressed up like a daydream. Taylor Swift, quote for that ass. You're welcome. But, yeah, no, this is what's going to happen. Chase Hooper is going to come in. Horrible, horrible striking. But what he does is he can take a shot. Now, we talk about short people. I will talk about this short guy all day. We got Daniel Tamer, the more shitty of the two of the twins, of the Tamer twins. But he packs a punch. Big overhand. And what kind of sold me? He rushed in on Tamer. Tamer cracked, dude. Crack! And he just kept going, man. So I'm pretty positive that Tamer packs more of a powerful punch in his overhand than almost Caceres can do anything. Caceres is a stay on the outside. I'm going to jab, 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 circle, 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 jab, 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 stay away, stay away, stay away. And Hooper's not going to play that. He's going to throw wild stuff to just get hit, because what he does is as soon as he gets hit, he just grabs you. That's all he's looking to do is I got to grab you. He's so tall and lanky that if he grabs you and gets you against the cage, he can wrap his leg around inside your leg, snatch his arm inside you, and he's like
spaghetti. He's like spaghetti. He just wraps his arm around you.
Hopefully nobody's arm goes inside anybody.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't mean like he's not like going inside of him. You know what I mean? But he's good at like sliding in small places. That still didn't sound right, but we're going to still go. I think he finds a way early in the first round. He's going to drag Caceres down to the ground, ground and pound submission. Either way, I think it's pretty safe inside the first round, maybe first part of the second round. It's going to find the way to the ground. All it has to do is find it one time. Here is proof right here. So UFC, right? UFC super branding, marketing geniuses, right? They had Crone Gracie come in. What is Crone Gracie? Grappling beast. That's what he is. He's a Gracie. That's what he's known for. So they sit back and they go, who can we put with Gracie that's going to make him shine. Let's put him with old Bruce Leroy. He came out, did what he needed to do, clinched up, found the way to the goal. Like how he did it was, Caceres threw a jab out there. He just slipped off and clinched. Boom, body lock, drug him to the ground, subbed him first round. That's kind of how I see it going. First round finish, Mr. Hooper.
And I think it's an armbar or a rear naked choke is what I would the two submissions I think that would happen here.
Both Nick and Big Mo on the Dream Hooper.
I got Clint thinking. I see him.
I hope, like Japanese porn, they blur that shit out if it gets wild. Clint, what do you think of this look on Hooper?
Jimmy, there's a couple of angles that I like to take when it comes to sports betting. There's a couple of big no-nos for me as well. As you all know, I don't bet fighters who are over 40. I don't like to bet on fighters that have no chin. And I don't like to bet on one-dimensional fighters. What Mr. Hooper over here is a one-dimensional fighter, Jimmy.
Oh, cool.
But there's another angle that is even stronger. And that's you want to be on the same side as the UFC. When they put a fight together, attention, they want a fighter to win. You got to back them. Mr. Hooper should not be the favorite here. He's fighting a guy who's been in the UFC for 10 years. He's fighting a guy that's got almost 30 professional fights.
Hey, what's his record?
Miles ahead of him.
A little better than 500.
Striking.
Hey, Jimmy, can you drop me Mr. Caceres' record, please, sir?
15-12-0.
Okay, because I was just curious about that. I didn't really.
And 7 of those 12 losses, Jimmy, have come by submission. The UFC knows exactly what they're doing here. Chase Hooper is a young gun, 20-year-old with the sharp submission game, and they know Caceres can't defend a takedown. They know Caceres doesn't know how to tuck his chin. They completely understand that Caceres only has 3 KOs on his entire record for being known as a striker. The dude couldn't bust a grape. Hooper's got a great chin. He's going to walk Caceres down, and this is a spot where the small cage will matter. This grappler is going to tie him up. He's going to get him to the mat. He's going to choke him out. I'm going to lay the wood and break my stupid rule in this case. I got in early because I knew everyone would see what I'm seeing. This line is going to close -180, -200. Money is just going to flood in on our boy Hooper, and I locked him up at -145 earlier in the week.
Hooper, backed by all of our analysts here. Odds.com breaking down UFC 250 Apex in Vegas this Saturday, June 6th. We've talked about the early preliminary card. We've talked about the preliminary card. Before we move on to the main card, I'd like to ask all three of you what your best bet on these two spots that we've looked at, the early preliminary card and the preliminary card. Let's start with Clint. What is we've talked 7 fights so far, 3 in the early preliminary, 4 in the preliminary. What is your favorite look out of them all?
Just because of the line, Jimmy, I'm going to give the fans my dog. Formiga at +120 is my best bet on the early prelims. I think that he should be favored in this fight. You're getting that extra juice on that one. I like that a lot. Chase Hooper is the other fight that I'm kind of tugging back and forth with, but like I said, get on that line early because it's just gonna get wider, and if you don't want to lay that much chalk, you need to get it now.
Nick, your favorite look on the 7 fights that we've broken down so far?
Herbert Burns inside the distance at -125.
Herbert Burns inside the distance -125, excuse me. Big Mo, best look on the preliminary cards.
Well, Jimmy, somebody's going to be real pissed off because one of mine is going with, that's right, Mr. Evan Dunham. And then we can go ahead and get a little spicy because we all know the the dream is going to come out and smash Caceres. So you can go ahead and lock that in too. But yeah, no, somebody's going, and by that time, he's probably going to be a little sauced up. You know, we're going to be live on stream. Who knows what's going to go down on that fight. But, yeah. No, we're going Evan Dunham.
I hope you guys are live together because that early preliminary, the first fight,
That's the first fight of the night. You're gonna be sauced up.
Hey,
first fight.
Nick gets up to get down.
Okay. I love it. Great breakdowns, guys. Big thank you to our MMA analysts, our best guys on the scene. Big thank you to Boss Nick, aka Mr. Fatfist, Big Mo from Mo Scream TV, and Clint Starr, the Die Hard MMA Podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube page. You're watching it right now. Odds HQ. Subscribe and hit the bell button for us. Also follow us on Twitter. Odds 110. But most importantly, get paid on Saturday night. Get that cash. Good luck.